seeing him win that race, seeing him get out of the car, talk about it, cry about it, and not cry because
I know.
it totally made me
I know, I'm
cry.
getting goosebumps right
I
now.
know.
He hit the wall and he gained like momentum. And normally you hit the wall
Yeah.
and you slow down.
Yeah.
It was all just God's work, and I will preach that.
Welcome to Believe in the Good with Haley Dillon, the podcast where we go beyond the track and into the lives of NASCAR wives, families, and the incredible community that keeps this sport moving. Here, we're all about the stories that fuel us, the highs, the lows, the grit, the grace, and the goodness we find along the way. So buckle up, because we're diving into real conversations, behind-the-scenes moments, and the kind of inspiration that reminds us, no matter what, there's always good to be found. So let's hit the gas and let's get into it.
How's it going this morning?
Girl, I am trying to get everybody, wake up, go to school. Just, you get to sit down and take a deep breath. And it's like,
I know. Then you got to get on an interview with me. You're like, your moment of reprieve.
no, I'm excited. I get to sit down, so that's good.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to have you on. This is so fun.
Yeah, me too. This is fun.
Yeah. So you do have 3 little ones, and we'll get into that. But what is your current routine like with them? Like, do you have a nanny that's there, or
If
yeah?
I
And do your
didn't, I would.
twins? Do your twins go to naps like well? Do they nap well at the same time? Do you guys have a
Yeah. So we wake up at like 7-ish, and I feel like even if I woke up at 5, I still wouldn't. There's like just not enough time to do everything. But we wake up around 7, and wake up, get them ready, and now they're eating food. So that's a whole new can of worms.
yeah?
They're just hungry all the time. And I think Cooper is pretty picky like Chase. I'll try to give him food, and he's like, nope, nope, no. He just loves his milk. But yeah, they're on a decent nap schedule too. So they nap twice, and we have those new bassinets that like
Oh,
still hug them and shake them a little and rock them and
amazing.
plays noise. If I didn't have those, I had that with Brooks, and I just swear by it. I'm like, if you don't have that, then like it's like an extra set of hands. I just lay them in there and they go right to sleep. So
Oh my gosh.
it's
We were gonna
amazing.
get Yes, we were gonna get that for Oakley, and I don't know, we just never did with her. And then I kind of forgot about them. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
remember that being really popular when she was first born. They kind of first came out, and we had a
Yeah.
friend that had one with their baby, and we were gonna get it, and then I don't know, we just never ended up doing it, and I never did with either of the boys either.
Well,
Oh,
it's okay, but it works for us. And sooner or later, I'm going to put them in their cribs. They have this pretty nursery, and they don't even sleep in it. So
I know. You
one
get
day
all
they'll be
these
in there.
you get all these things for your babies, and then, you
I
realize
know,
once you have them, they need like 2 things. It's
I
just
know,
funny.
and I'm already putting newborn clothes away for them. And it's so sad because I think we're done. Actually, I know we're done. But just putting all that stuff away and saving it for my sister-in-law, or friends that are still having babies. Like, I don't know. It's bittersweet.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I mean, whenever I catch a video of this time last year when Bear was first born, I'm just like, oh, I
It
can't
goes so
believe it.
fast. I know. I
I
hate
know.
how fast it goes. Time stands still for no one. I just wish
I
it would
know.
slow down a little bit.
I
Yeah.
know. So we'll get into more about your babies for sure. But
Okay.
to sort of start us off, Marissa, I wanted to ask you, I always love to ask how you guys met, and you guys have a fun story. I
Whoa.
always love it. I think it's a cute, I love a good success story in your guys's. Tell me a little bit about how you guys met.
Well, I wish I could sit here and say, oh, we met in a church group, but no. We met on Bumble dating
I
app.
I think that it is so cute. Like,
I
honestly,
guess.
I think it's so fun that that's how you guys started dating and that's how you met. And I mean, it's just, we just went out to dinner with a couple last night and they met on Hinge. Like, it's such a thing now.
Yeah,
And
it is.
I know a lot of people that have had success stories from it and beautiful marriages. So I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. But
Yeah,
anyway, so that's how you met, and
yeah.
you, like, I am kind of oblivious to how that works, but you like meet on
So
there and set up a
there's
date.
there's a ton of different dating apps, and I only had that one. I guess Chase had like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, like he had all of them. So I had Bumble, and the girls have to initiate the conversation with the guys first, and I felt like that was the safest option. And my friend was like, "You have to get Bumble. Like it's just fun to swipe and swipe this way, yes, no." And I'm like, "Okay." So I, would swipe. I think you swiped right on people you liked, and then it would say, boom, it's a match. So if they had swiped on you, I guess, and then the girl starts the conversation.
Okay, yeah.
So I reached out, or I swiped on him, and it's like, boom, it's a match. So I started talking to him, and, I'm young, I'm talking to a few other guys and just having fun and not taking anything serious. And we talked a little bit, and I cannot remember dates whatsoever right now, but it feels like such a blur. But I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And we just like small talk. Maybe like we still have screenshots of the conversation because it was so short. And then
Yeah.
I just blew him off. But I had him in the back of my mind. I'm like, "Oh, this guy's kind of cool, like cute and good conversation." So I didn't talk to him for maybe 2 weeks, and I knew like what he was doing, and we talked about him going to Vegas. So I knew he was going to Vegas, and that shooting happened at the
Yeah.
Mirage. I can't remember what hotel it was, but the big shooting happened. I knew he was there. So I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey, are you okay? I know you're in Vegas." And that's just what kind of rehinged from there. We started talking, and then we didn't meet up for a few months. It was just kind of small talk, and we met at Top Golf, and I brought all my family. Like I wasn't taking this serious, and I
Oh my
brought my
gosh.
brother, and I brought my sister-in-law, and I'm like, this guy, like I talked to him maybe 3 times on the phone, and he might, I don't know, maybe some old man talking to me. I don't know.
Right?
So we meet up at Top Golf, and I got butterflies, and like it was just different. Like you just have that feeling of,
Yeah.
okay, this could really go somewhere. So met at Top Golf, and then we went to Scarowinds, and we always had friends with us. I can't honestly remember our first like alone date.
Yeah.
It's
Your
sad.
first like solo date.
Yeah, I can't remember, but it was different. Like he would try to hold my hand, and I'd get butterflies, and I was like, this is a weird feeling. And I remember telling my dad, and he was like, if you have that feeling like in your gut, then you might be the one. So,
Yeah.
you know, off into eternity we went.
Yeah, that is so cute. You guys had your first date and you went to Topgolf and all of that. When was that? Was that
I want to
20?
say 20 in like September, October 2017. But he
Okay.
was in the truck series. I think he was full time in the truck series. Yeah, I think. Everything's such a blur. And I knew nothing about racing whatsoever. Like my brother was kind of into it. He had just went to Talladega, and I was like, I'm talking to this guy. I don't know. Like, I don't think I just knew nothing about it. And he was like, no, like this is kind of a big deal. And I'm like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I knew nothing about it. And I still
That's,
kind of am learning.
I was
So
gonna say, how has that evolved for you? When you first started, so now, like, what was your first race that you went to? You guys are kind of talking, dating, you go to Topgolf, you go to Scarowinds, you're not taking
yeah,
it too serious. Then it's like, okay, it becomes more serious. What was your first race you went to with him?
I went to Atlanta when he was in the 60 car. And I think that was when him, Ty Majeski, and Austin Cindric were kind of like threeing it, like the program 60, I think they called it. So there were
Okay.
3 drivers in that car, I think.
And the 60
But
car, was that a Cup or Xfinity at the
I was
time?
Xfinity.
So you went to that race and how did it go?
I sat on the pit box, and I had the big red like headphones on. I had them on like upside down, I remember. I had no idea how to put those things on.
Yeah.
My brother was there, my sister-in-law, and we were just like, wow, this is kind of cool. Chase is very like when we first started dating, like I didn't really go around too much because he didn't want he didn't want to bring a girl in and like, like me following him around at the racetrack. But I mean, we got married, so, but, but he was very I don't know. I tried to hold his hand and he wouldn't hold my hand. I'm like, why won't you hold my hand? And he's like, well, this is my job. Like, I got to take this serious. I'm like, okay, okay. So I kind of just watched from a distance, like TV and all that. I had a job too. I worked in dentistry and I loved it. I would go back in a heartbeat. But I loved having my own like thing. I would pay for dinners and I'm like, I got it. I got a job. I got it. I love it. I love being able to buy his dinner. So I had my own thing going and he had his own thing. And when we saw each other because he lived so far away. He lived in Mooresville and I'm down here in Monroe, which is an hour and 15 minutes go with traffic, hour and 45 minutes. So when we could see each other, it was a big effort to try to see each other.
Yeah.
Just how busy he is. And then, I had an 8 to 5 job. So it was hard, but we made it work.
Yeah. So things obviously progress and get a little more serious and you guys are official in dating. Did you move in together? Did he how far into your relationship was it all right, we're boyfriend and girlfriend now?
Yeah. We kind of just hit it off. And to be completely honest with you, we talk about this a lot. I just slowly started moving my things into his apartment.
Leaving little by little.
Yeah, toothbrush here. And I'm like, okay, never said anything about that. Had my hair dryer. And then one day I just brought a big duffel bag and I'm like, here we are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was fun at first. I don't think we shared our first just smooch 4 months into dating. We were just having fun. I know. We were just having fun and hanging out and going to dinners together. And it's, I don't know, it's just pretty relaxed in the beginning. So it was easy.
Yeah. That is so cute. You guys were just, building that friendship, which is,
it's key.
In my opinion, the most important part of
I
a
agree.
marriage is the friendship, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree.
So you guys get engaged, you got married at Childress Vineyards.
We did. It's so beautiful.
Beautiful wedding.
Yeah, I love it.
Obviously, I'm partial to that. That's where we got married.
Right. Yeah, it was fun. We had just a small crowd, and I was very chill about the whole thing. And looking back at it, I'm like, man, I wish I would have done this or done that. But it was just such a good time. I think we had 70 people. It was very small, intimate. It was raining. I hear that's good luck, but so many people wiped out on that sidewalk going from cocktail hour to the reception, and it was funny. It was just a great night. We had so much fun, and I was so nervous. I was about to walk down the aisle, and I don't like people looking at me, so I was like, this is a big deal, and me and my dad were walking and about to walk down the aisle. I see everybody stand up. I was like, Dad, I don't think I can do this. I got to turn around. I don't think I can do this. He's like, you're fine. You're fine. And as soon as I saw Chase, we locked eyes. I was totally fine. There was nobody else in the room. And he just gave me some sort of comfort.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet.
Sweet love.
That's so sweet. How old are you guys? How old were you when you got married too?
I think I was 22. I was young.
Okay. Yeah,
we got married in 2018.
Okay. And then you guys...
2019. 2019, I think. I'll remember all this one day. I had to write everything down because, after you have kids, your brain just, turns into mush. You just can't remember anything. Or at least mine. I don't know.
Yes. No, especially when you have 3 kids under 3 like you guys have had.
I know. Is this real? Am I dreaming right now? I don't feel like this is real life. Did I, am I still dreaming?
Yeah.
Did I sleep last night? I don't know. Everything's a blur.
You guys had such a, it was hard, and I'm sure there was so much to it for you, but it was also so, I don't know, it's just so beautiful that weekend when then Chase won that Xfinity race. But if
Arlington.
you wouldn't mind, like, sharing a little bit about your journey of having kids and what that's been like for you. I mean, from wanting to have a baby and then having a miscarriage and then,
Yeah,
just all of the journey to now, going through IVF and then having twins. Like, you've got
I know.
quite the journey, and
I
people
know.
love to hear those stories. So,
Yeah. So I can't remember when we started trying. It was during, I had my miscarriage during COVID. I think it was 2020, May of 2020. And it was, I mean, you know, I went to doctor appointments by myself because Chase is obviously busy. There was a few he could go to, and then it was during COVID. So I had to FaceTime him. They wouldn't let anybody else in the ultrasound room. And he was in Darlington when I had my appointment. I think it was on a Friday. And his family was in town for the race. And FaceTime him, it's like, oh, we get to see the baby today. And it was actually I think it was my second ultrasound. So it was about 10 weeks. So like first ultrasound was great. And then the second one, she was having trouble. And I was like, okay, this isn't right. I could see it on the screen. And she's like,
yeah.
honey, I'm so sorry. There's no heartbeat. I'll leave you alone. And nobody prepares you for that. It's like you're on this high of being pregnant. Let's find out if it's a girl, if it's a boy. Let's think of names. Let's go ahead and start the nursery. You think
Yeah.
of all that. You don't think that something can happen, especially like if you've never gone through it. So I just,
So
I don't think I've,
she did that ultrasound and then she said, I'm so sorry, I'll leave you alone. Were you were literally
yeah.
alone.
And they walked me out about, and I'm not, downing them at all because they see this all the time. They just don't prepare you for it. And
Yeah.
they walked me out of a back door and I'm alone. And I just sit in the car and I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, I hung up on Chase. I was like, I'll call you back. So he's alone. I'm alone. We lived in Harrisburg at the time, and my whole like my in-laws are there, and like I don't want to walk into that right now. So, but I'm glad they were there because when I walked in, I just lost it. And his mom just hugged me for like 30 minutes. And then his dad walked in,
Oh.
his sister walked in, and they just hugged me and prayed. And I'm like, in my mind, I have a hard time with grief. So I'm thinking, when can we try again? And that sounds horrible, but like, I just did not want to sit there. I couldn't sit there in sadness and think about, like, I don't know, I couldn't think about it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's horrible. So Chase was in Darlington, and actually, it might have been, yeah, it was a Friday. So he was at the track, and then his sponsor, like everybody we knew, we told our close people, and his sponsor at the time, I think it was High Point, Mike, he called him to tell him, he was like, because we were all very close at the time and they were interested in our pregnancy and all that. And he was like, well, we've had a miscarriage. He's like, do not race. You do not need to race. Like, stay
Wow.
home with your family. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. But like, I'm not, you need to do this because I know, like, I don't know, just us sitting at home is not going to help anything. I couldn't go to the track because of COVID.
Right.
So Chase was there, and then I couldn't sit at home. I left my house and went to my brother's house for the race, and he won the race, and I was like, wow, this is like some light in the darkness.
I
So it
don't
gave
know
us,
anyone that could have possibly known your story, seen him win that race, seen him get out of the car, talk about it, cry about it, and not cry because it totally made me
and I'm
cry.
getting goosebumps right
I
now.
know. It was so, like you say, just a little bit of light, like just a little bit of God being like, hey, I
Oh
see
yeah,
you, I got you, you know?
yeah, because he hit the wall and he gained like momentum, and normally you hit the wall
Yeah,
and you slow down,
yeah,
but it's just it was all just God's work, and I will preach that, you know.
yeah,
So it was a rough time, and I do feel like I don't want to say damaged me, but trying to have a baby after that, I actually had another miscarriage after that, but it wasn't like I wouldn't have known if I wasn't under fertility care. So I, the first one was just very like, we were kind of not far along, but far enough to where like you see your baby on the ultrasound, and that's a baby, like little
yeah.
head and little arms, and then you have to have surgery, and it's like, it's just, it was a lot.
Yeah, that's
It was bad.
traumatic.
I did wake up from my surgery. Chase was there, and I was screaming, "My husband won the Daytona 500!" And and everybody was laughing, and I was like, "I'm glad I can make y'all laugh." I feel like I always try to like have some sort of humor in any situation, whether good or bad, just because I have a hard time dealing with sadness.
Yeah, I do the
So
same thing. I think that, you know, finding a little bit of humor even in the
yeah,
darkest
yeah,
times.
you have
Yeah.
to.
Uh-huh. I
Actually,
cling to people like that it's
yeah,
like, I might be the one to look at you and somehow we can giggle at a funeral. Like, as weird
yeah.
as that is,
No,
it's
I
like,
totally get that. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. Tell the funny story. Let's not sit here and, be sad.
exactly.
But it was a lot. And I see the Chase's interview pop up like if I'm scrolling sometimes on my phone. And it's just like, he cried with me, but he didn't cry like that. Like, that was the
Oh,
moment where when he got out of the car, he's like, man, it just kind of like hit him, I think. And the fact
yeah,
that like I couldn't be there with him, just, it's
yeah.
something. But
It's
he
like you
came
want him to
home.
be strong for you when he's with you. And then
Yeah.
that just he got caught up in that moment and it hit him hard. It
It
was
hit him hard.
really beautiful though, just to see him, to see this rough, tough man break down about his wife. And it was
I
just
know.
so,
He's got a
so,
soft spot. He's
yeah,
got some softness to him.
yeah, it's very sweet.
It
So
was,
then
yeah.
you went from there, and then what was your journey like getting to having Brooks?
Yeah. So after that, we took a little break of like, okay, let's just like chill out. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But it wasn't happening. And I went to Reach, a fertility clinic, and found this great nurse there. And she told me, "Oh, you look like you have PCOS." And which I think is like, I haven't really looked more into that since then, but I think it's like when your eggs you have a lot of them and they don't mature. So she was like, you can get pregnant very easily, but you can't stay pregnant easily. So that
Mm.
explained everything. And she put me on a shot and some medication, and we got pregnant that next month. I cannot remember dates, but it was that following year after. I think that was beginning of 2021 because I got pregnant with Brooks in February, our second round. So I was under fertility care with him, our second round of stuff, and everything was just looking great. And I, saw everything. Like, I would get an ultrasound every week
Mm.
and blood work, and everything was just, and you're so scared, and
Yeah,
you do blood work, and they're like, okay, we'll call you like tomorrow morning and make sure your blood work is, good.
doubling and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were like, it's going up, it's going up. So that was good. And Brooks, I had a great pregnancy with him,
You were like the
and
cutest pregnant person in the whole world.
waddling everywhere. I would turn around and everyone's like, you don't look pregnant from the back. And I'm like, I think that's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah, you would
Um,
just turn and have like a little beach ball in your.
I know. It was
It
like a
was so
big
cute.
basketball. Oh, I love being pregnant. But yeah, we had him in October, and just the joy of like, I didn't get to do it naturally like I wanted to. I had to have a C-section with him, which I feel like robbed me a little bit because I wanted to try that way, but it didn't happen. It didn't work out. But he came out healthy, and he was an 8-pounder. He was a big boy. So he
Yeah.
came out, and they put him on your chest, and it's just like, I mean, there's literally nothing in life that is greater than that moment. It's like such
Yeah.
a rush, and I would do it 100 times if I could, but
I know. Isn't
hearing
that crazy? That moment, I'm like,
it's like
I
a
don't
10-minute
want to
moment.
raise 12 kids, but if I could get like, I could see where it becomes
Yeah,
addicting to want to
addicting. Yeah,
keep having more.
just
Yeah.
such a good feeling. Like, it's just like a fresh little baby, and you're like, oh my gosh, we created this. It's half
Yeah.
of me and half of you, and so it
It's
was
such a
just like
miracle.
such a miracle.
So cool. So
I
then what was
know.
your postpartum journey like with him? Was it,
With Brooks, I
yeah,
was good. I went
good.
down a little bit of, because I was alone a lot. I
Yeah.
went down a little bit of anxiety, depression for like 2, 3 months, which hit me at like 4 months postpartum. And that's
Oh, yeah.
usual. You get on some medicine for a few months and then you kind of level yourself out. So everything was good with him. And then I told Chase, I was like, I guess we should try again for some, Brooks needs a little baby brother
Yeah.
or sister. I didn't know he was going to get both, but
Hey parents, are you looking for high quality, faith inspired pajamas for your little ones? Let me introduce you to Holy Pals, the brand that brings comfort, quality, and faith together in the sweetest way. Holy Pals creates soft, cozy pajamas featuring beautifully designed Bible stories and characters, making bedtime not just about rest, but also about faith and family. Whether it's Noah's Ark, David and Goliath, or the Nativity, these pajamas are a perfect way to spark meaningful conversation with your kids. And not only are they adorable, but Holy Pals is committed to quality. Each pair is made with 100% premium cotton, ensuring a safe and snug fit for your little ones. So why not make bedtime a little more special? Visit holypals.com/Haley Dillon for 20% off at checkout. Holy Pals, where faith and comfort come together, one bedtime story at a time.
So then did you go to Reach again and do
yeah,
the same? And it's interesting because a lot of people I think that are going through a fertility journey and struggling with infertility, I think maybe the common misconception is that you have to go straight to IVF, but you guys, that's
no,
not. You
we
did,
were going to. Like,
you
we were
were going
prepared
to.
to. Yeah, we had to
Okay.
do, like, all the screening. Like, there's a lot to put into it. And, like, the effort, which, you'll do anything to have a baby, but you
Yeah.
can't. So we were, the first miscarriage we did with the first round of medication, she was like, okay, well, I don't want to keep putting you through these miscarriages. So
Right.
maybe let's look into IVF and we'll freeze you some eggs. And so we were going to do that. And then she was like, let's just try one more round of this and see if you're okay with that. And so we did that. And Brooks, I got pregnant. I found out I was pregnant actually like on my birthday, I think, with him. And it was just like everything was just
Oh,
happening in such a good way.
yeah.
So we
So
didn't have
then
to do IVF.
So then with your twins though, what was
Yeah.
that's I think is something too that a lot of people, I think we were talking about this at Daytona, and correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, but a lot of people have assumed that you must have done IVF and implanted two eggs or something,
Yeah.
like, well,
Well,
so
I,
set the record straight of
yeah, I'm
your
going to set the record
pregnancy.
straight right here, right now.
Okay.
So we weren't getting pregnant. I can't remember when we started trying, but it wasn't happening. I was like, Chase, I cannot go through another miscarriage. It would just rot, like literally tear me apart. So I was like, let's go make sure like everything's okay with me because he got checked too and everything was good with him. So I went around the same timeline, like February, March. That's why their birthdays are so close. I did not plan that whatsoever, but we went and they checked everything out. And she's like, all right, well, let's just do the same thing you did with Brooks. And I'm like, I'm totally fine with that. So she said there is a risk of, or not risk, but there is a chance of, having multiples if your eggs are, good eggs and they get fertilized. And I'm like, okay, just disregard that. There's like a 5% chance. And I was like, yeah, we're good. So, anyways, we do that and then go back and I was so sick. I finally got pregnant and I was so sick
Oh
in
my
the
God.
beginning. And it was
That give you any inclination that I wonder if this could be twins?
Chase. Yeah, Chase. Or I just thought it was a girl because, you hear girls
Right.
make you sicker because I was sick with Brooks by now. But I was actually that morning going to go get my last round of Botox before I got pregnant. And
That's the
I
real
was like,
talk. That's
I
what
know,
we never talk about that. I remember
I know.
both my boys being like, I don't think I'd ever gotten Botox until after I had Oakley. And
Yeah.
then so, for any haters out there, we're Botox girlies, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Whatever. No, but I remember before I got pregnant with Captain and Bear, I was like, let me try and time this out before we start
Yeah,
trying.
yeah. So I looked good for 9 months. I mean, I can't have
Yeah.
wrinkles. So I was going that morning and it was February. No, yeah, February. And I was like, and I was not to be all, up close and personal, but I was like still 2 weeks away from having a missed period or maybe a week. So there was no need for me to take a pregnancy test.
Yeah.
But
Were
I
you
did.
already feeling Oh, you're
Not
saying when you
really.
were gonna go in to get
Oh,
Botox, you
yeah,
were
I
like,
didn't want to get Botox if I was pregnant. So I was just being
gotcha.
cautious. And so I took a pregnancy test and it was positive. And I was like, what? this can't be, like, this has to be from the medicine, like, still in my system or something. I don't, because they told me I could get a positive test if I tested too early. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's it. So then you time it out to see if it gets darker. And I called and I was like, I guess I can't come in today. I got a positive pregnancy test. So maybe I'll call you tomorrow and it'll be negative. I don't know, but not getting Botox today. So, took one that next morning. It's darker. The next morning is darker. And then I started getting really sick. And it was just so early.
Yeah. Well, and then now it all makes sense because it was twins.
Yeah. So I go in for blood work. They're like, once you get a positive test, come in. We'll test you for your, I think it's HCG hormone or something. And it was like 200, which was good. And so then you got to do a second round of blood work that a few days later. So I did that and it shot up to like, oh my gosh, it was like 12,000. And I remember the numbers with Brooks because it wasn't like that. And I told her on the phone, she's like, we're going to do a third one in a few days. But I said, why did this shoot up so high? Like, is there more than one in there? And she goes, no, I don't think so. But, we'll see. And I'm like, Chase, it's like, there's not two in there. There's no way. So it really like wasn't in my mind if there was going to be more than one. But Chase was like, I'm telling you, like, there might be more than one in there. Yeah. And so I go to my third appointment. It was like 50,000.
You're like, is there 7 in there?
I know. Like, how many?
Am I going to have a litter?
I know. So, anyways, we go to, I'm so sick. Like, Chase would bring me ginger ale, crackers in bed. And, like, it was that feeling of, like, you wanted, I never actually, like, physically sick, but, like, I wanted to.
That's exactly how I always was. I'm like, I think if I actually could throw up, I might have some relief. You know?
But I never could.
Yes.
It was the worst. But it was a good feeling knowing that, like that's a good sign that you're sick. So everything's going good. So we go to I think fertility, it was a 6-week ultrasound. And I do remember they do ultrasounds to see if your eggs are good and you're ready to like release them and do the stomach shot and all that. And I had 3 good ones. So I could have had like you have time to intercourse and all that. And I'm like, Chase, I guess we timed this right because like we could have had 3.
Oh my God.
I know. So we go to our 6-week appointment and I'm like, I don't know what we're going to find. Chase is like, I'm telling you, there's 2. And I remember feeling so sick. I was just laying there like, I'm ready to go back home. And she did the ultrasound and she goes, well, this is why you're so sick. And she turned the screen and I mean, I think the room went black. I don't really remember much after that, but I'm thinking like, I'm not worried about taking care of them. I'm worried about growing them and then getting them out of my body.
Right.
like ripping me apart. Like, how in the world am I going to have 2 babies in my little body?
Totally.
So Chase is sitting there and we just kind of look at each other like, I don't think we spoke the whole way home. Like, it was just radio silent. And I don't know, I was excited, honestly.
Yeah.
Like this will be fun and we'll be fine. We'll figure it out. Like, this is, God chose us to be twin parents. You're handpicked.
It is such I mean, talk about a miracle of just having babies, like we were saying, just in general. You, like, that 2 people can come together and make a baby is crazy. And we, like, just think not that it's not this gigantic miracle that it is. I mean, you do, but then to actually have twins is so rare, especially, I mean.
And there's so many different, like, things with twins. Like, they can share a placenta. They can each have their own placenta. They can be, I'm still not on the twin term. Like, it's confusing, but fraternal, identical, all that. And she told me right then and there what they were because they each had a placenta and they each had a membrane wall or something was split in between them. So it was just 2 separate babies in my belly with 2 placentas. And I mean, there was a lot of weight in there. A lot of weight.
Yeah.
They came out at 6 pounds each at 38 weeks. And I would have kept going, but I had to, against their policy, I had to have a C-section with twins. I wanted to try a natural, but, they're here healthy and all that.
Yeah, having twins naturally is possible, but pretty complicated.
Yeah, I
There's
just
a
was
lot
like,
of things.
whatever.
A lot of things have to go just perfectly right.
Yeah. Well,
I
in my
agree.
mind, they were both head down. Everything was they were head
Mhm.
down at 35 weeks and beyond. Like they were, I think
Yeah.
they would have came on their own. It's
Yeah.
scary, but to think about. But we tried. My doctor tried. She's like, whatever we can do. Like, she was scraping my membrane wall at the end and trying
Oh
to
wow,
have
so
them.
you were going to go for it.
I was gonna go for it. I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
try
awesome.
because I didn't get to do that with Brooks, and I knew this was probably my last pregnancy, and I wanted to, try
With
that way.
your labor with Brooks, did you go into labor? What brought
He induced me because my fluid was high,
oh
and I think also our doctor knew that we wanted Chase to be there. So my fluid was high, and we tried. I went in, and they, did the induction and all that, and he was coming out like this way, and they could not turn him. So
yeah.
my water had broken. He had to come within 24 hours. So they're like, "Oh, we'll just go into a C-section." And you don't know
Yeah.
what to expect then. But then, the next time with the twins, I knew what to expect. And it wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't fun, but it just, you're laying there in a huge surgery and like everybody's like, "Oh, babies." And I'm like, "Hey guys, I'm down here."
You're right. It's
Like my arms like this. I'm like, I just,
Mhm. Yeah,
but it was still
it's
like,
by no means a easy way out, as some
I,
people
I
might
agree.
think. Like it is
Yeah.
very
Both are very, have their own thing,
no way of
but
having these babies is easy.
no
Yeah.
way. No way at all. I was just, glad that it's just honestly a miracle that I had two healthy, perfectly healthy babies.
Yeah, and
And
they're
it was just,
so cute. All
thank
three
you.
of your kids are so yummy. And
Oh,
Brooks is like his
oh,
little
he's a
voice
hoot.
and like the way he talks. Oh my God, I
You would
can't.
think you're talking to like a 12-year-old. I call him
He's
a
so
three-nager.
precious.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
precious.
He knows it too, let me tell you. He does. He's
I
a
have this
nutcracker.
video I need to send you of him in Daytona. I was taking a video of Bear playing, and then little Brooks was like to the side of me, and you can just hear his little voice. And I was like, okay, I have to get you in this video because you're
Oh my
so dang
gosh.
cute, and
He is
he's
a nut.
just precious. Oh my
How do
God,
you say no? You can't. It's so hard to say no to your
that's
kids,
the thing.
especially
I'm
when
like,
you work so hard.
yeah. Oh gosh. So you guys go. We were talking at Daytona about this too, which I know has been a few months ago, but you guys go from 1 to 3. So are you grateful that you had already had parenting experience, or Ty? Because Ty and I have had the thought, like, if you had it twins for your second, third, I
Yeah.
think it would be easier then. But maybe it's harder because you think it's, I don't know. Like, what is that like?
I
Because
will say I haven't met anybody that had twins and had more kids after that. I haven't met anybody yet. I know there are people out there, but it was a lot. And after this pregnancy, I've had so many health complications. Like, there's just a lot going on. After we were coming home, everything was fine in the hospital. And they were actually going to send me home the
yes,
next day.
that's right. I
Um,
forgot about all of this. Yeah.
yeah. So they sent me home, and I had such a bad headache. I felt like super drunk. Like, that's the way
Yeah.
I can explain it. And like, everything was bright. It was almost like a migraine times 10. And if I would lay down, it would be a little bit better. But like, I wasn't talking right. And it was just, I was like, Chase, something is wrong.
Scary.
Yeah. So we went back to the ER that night. I took my newborn babies. I still had my hospital band on.
Yeah.
Like, everybody still had their stuff, and we went back to the hospital, and they wouldn't. I had to go on the ER side. They wouldn't take me in on the other side for some reason. So I had to go in the ER, sit in the waiting room, and they're like, "We're gonna do an MRI, we're gonna do a CT scan, I had to do all these tests. I mean, we were in there for 6 hours with newborn babies and
Wow.
Brooks. We had Brooks too. Yeah, it was a
Oh my
lot.
goodness.
My mom came with me, and I didn't want to leave all of them at home. I had just had these babies. So I'm like, let's all go to the ER. So did all these tests, and then they're like, you might have a spinal headache from the epidural and all that. And I guess it's like a leak. So like your brain is sitting on top of your spine and it's just causing all this stuff. And they gave me some medicine. I was like, I feel a little bit better because they were like, we're going to admit you overnight. I'm like, I can't do that right now. Like, I just want to go home. I feel a little bit better from the medicine. Went
I
home.
can't send this man home with these 3 children. I mean,
No, I have
it'd be
breast
fine.
milk.
They'd figure it out, but
I
it's a lot
know.
to ask.
So it was a lot. So came back home and felt decent. And I was like, I think I'm better. I don't know what happened, but I think I'm better. That next day, it hit me again. So I had to get a plan together, and Chase had to go to the racetrack. It was Saturday. So he had practice, and luckily it was Charlotte week. So he was here. His parents were here. So they stayed with the babies, and I pumped enough milk for a few hours. So they were good. And my parents took me to the ER. And I have a friend that lives at the beach. She's an anesthesiologist. And she's like, honey, you have a spinal headache. You need to go get a spinal tap or something like that. I don't remember what it's called, but the blood patch.
Sort of.
Yeah. So
out.
it was kind of cool. But I sat there and I told them what I needed. I'm like, listen, this is what I have. I'm pretty sure. And, it takes a while to get somebody to come down from the other side of the hospital to do that. So we waited for a while, and they took blood out of my arm, and immediately they gave me another epidural and immediately put it in my bag. And then I had to lay flat for an hour. It was kind of cool, but I was in a lot of pain, but I was like, this is kind of neat. Yeah. So I laid there for about an hour, let it all, juiced up in my spine, and I got up, and I wasn't 100%, but I was definitely better. And I came home and got to go with my babies finally.
Wow. That is so interesting.
It was a
I've
lot.
not heard of that. When you guys had your twins, did you hire a night nanny or anything like that?
No, I was determined to do it. Yeah, I was determined to do it on my own.
Yeah.
At first.
That's
and
awesome.
I think that sent my body into shock. But I did it for 3.5 months on my own.
Wow.
With no help, put them all in the car, took Brooks to school. And when they're babies, like they just kind of lay there and you can walk away and go get the milk and stuff. They won't roll off. So in the beginning, it was easier, but now they are so mobile, and you can't sit there and eat without them pulling the plate off they just want to grab everything. So they're in that phase right now. And we found help when they were about 4 months old, and it was just a godsend because then I really hit a wall with my health about around when she came in. And it's funny because she was the first person I interviewed, and she had twins previously. And one was named Cooper. It was boy, girl. One was named Cooper in Charleston. And so I was like, this is just amazing. Yeah. So it was a godsend because I prayed. I'm like, I need somebody to help me and knows what they're doing. And, it just was amazing.
So what has been your health complications? Like you say, at 4 months, you started having some different health complications. What's been going on?
It's really weird.
Obviously,
there's so many.
If that's too personal, you don't have to tell me.
No. I'm gonna talk about this one day.
Yeah.
But I had gotten implants after Brooks because you want some confidence and breastfeeding. Well, yeah. So I want to do that. So I did that, and I'm totally fine with it. And then I was trying to figure out what was wrong with me. I'm like, I couldn't get out of bed for a long time, like a week. And that is so unlike me because I normally will push through anything, put a smile on my face and just get things done. And Chase was like, I can tell something's off. And it wasn't depression. It wasn't anxiety. It's just a lot of things. And I've tested for a lot of things and some things are positive. So we're trying to find a root cause. But in the meantime, I had been researching about breast implant illness. Mm-hmm. And it can cause all these symptoms if your body, some people's body react differently than others. And mine, I had read, took a turn after pregnancy and the implants were basically attacking me. So that's what I thought was going on. So I got them removed, and that was a journey in itself. And try to take care of babies. So I got them removed, and things have been a little bit better, but I don't know if that was fully it but I think my body is trying to do like a big detox from all of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's just like, having twins, getting implants removed, and like my body's trying to keep up and it can't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just going down this journey. I'm actually going to the Mayo Clinic in August because that's like our last straw. We're trying to figure it out. I've seen so many doctors, had so many scans, and we've had our house checked for mold, just all these things that we're trying to figure it out. It's odd, very odd, but I don't know. We're just trying to figure it out, and I'm doing everything I can to, get better for the kids and Chase, and I think I'm doing better, but we'll see. So.
Oh gosh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you've been going through any of that.
It's okay. I'm better. I'm doing a lot better.
But it is interesting. There's a lot of things that, happen to us even postpartum. Like who knows what could be contributing to it. That's interesting. You were checking your house for mold. Have you looked into Test My Home? You probably have.
I think so.
Yeah. It's one of the common, or not one of the common, but it's a business, I'm sure, if you were like investigating for mold. It's a really interesting thing where they do like a scan of all the things in your home. Not that we've done that, but it's definitely something that I think about doing because of, just not that any of us seem to be having any complications, but just like.
But you live in there and you want to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, you just want to live your healthiest life, right?
Right, so, exactly.
Well, that's really interesting. Well, I'll definitely be praying for you that you can, get to the bottom of it, hopefully, and feel completely 100%,
Yeah, thank you.
What was it like? Just last night, the documentary, or maybe just today, the documentary came out on Netflix, season 2 of, what is it?
Full Speed.
Full Speed.
I think, Full Speed.
Season 2, which you guys were in, and it looks, I haven't watched it yet. Obviously, it just came out, but what was it like filming that? Like, give us a little bit of the tea behind the scenes of what it's like to film reality TV. I mean, what were your thoughts?
I was so pregnant. Oh my goodness. Like, I was so pregnant. I just was over everything. So I actually, sadly, turned them down to coming and filming me because I was so pregnant. So I'm kind of in it a little bit. And they came in the hospital and, were there when the babies were born. It was sweet. That was fun to get documented, but it was really a lot. Like they would come to the morning of our C-section, they showed up at our house. So we had to leave at like 4:30 a.m. And they showed up just to watch, just to film us walk out the door. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. So, and it's so funny because my senior superlative, I think that's what it's called when they put it in the yearbook, like what you're going to do in like 10 years. Mine was to be on a reality TV show.
Oh my God, how funny.
I know. I was like, wow. And I just had my 10-year reunion and I was telling everybody it was in the yearbook. And I was like, look, these do come true.
That's so funny.
I know. It was fun though. Like, I think we had a really good time doing it, like the interviews. And it was a lot though. Like they'd come in to film like 6 hours and they're only going to use like 2 minutes of that clip.
Isn't that wild?
It is. Like, taping up the windows because the sunlight, and there's a lot of effort put into it.
Act natural.
I know. I'm like,
okay.
I know. We watched it the other day before it came out, and I didn't realize they were going to show me like slumped on the couch, like with my big belly, and I was like, oh, I was huge, my stomach, but it was fun. We had a good time and enjoyed watching it back. It's so weird to like watch yourself like listen to your voice and watch yourself, but it was fun, and it was fun to like document. Brooks had a good time doing it because he's just a natural, I guess. But there's a lot of things they didn't show. Like they rode to school with Brooks and he talked their ears off, and I do wish they would have shown a little bit more of that. But yeah, the hospital visit and all that was kind of cool to watch back.
It's so cool to watch now, but I bet in 10 years it'll be even cooler to have that,
Yeah, so cool. It was a great experience.
such a cool, sort of diary of your life at this moment in time. And
And
that's
the
so
guys
fun.
doing it were so cool. Like, they just come in here and we just talk, and it was, I don't know, it was pretty cool. Like, none of it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't nervous, and they just made it as chill as possible.
Yeah. Well, Chase has had quite the journey in racing too. It's been amazing. And he's having a really good season this year.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm more competitive than him. I'll be like, why
Really?
did you do that? Why would you even think to do that? Like, if he messes up in, like, pitting, I'm like, I get on to him.
Yeah.
And then at night, I'm like, are you studying? Are you watching a race back? I want him to be the best he could be. So,
So great.
yeah, I just stay on top of him.
Yeah. That's so awesome. Well, one time Ty was doing something with Chase and a couple other guys when they were doing one of their sunrise services on a Sunday. And sometimes, for our listeners, like sometimes Motor Racing Outreach will do these sunrise, or they pretty much do them every Sunday that they're at the track. Actually, Chase and Ty just did the one in Talladega. And so if you're going to a race locally Sunday morning, they usually do a sunrise service. And they talk to the
Beautiful.
guys, and Billy Malden kind of, cues up some questions for them. And sometimes even fans in the crowd can ask questions. It's really cool. But one time at one of those, I don't know when it was a couple years ago maybe, they were saying something about someone asked one of the guys, like maybe Michael McDowell or someone, what do they eat before a race?
I
And
already know where this is going.
yeah, he said something like a white bread mayo sandwich or something. Like he is like not he's a super picky eater and doesn't eat like he'll eat a white bread sandwich right before the race or something. Something to
With
that.
American cheese. It's not even real cheese. He eats
Yeah.
American cheese.
So is he really a picky eater? And are you a picky eater? And do you like to cook?
I love to cook. And I just will make all these, just like you, make all these gourmet meals and so proud of my dish. And he's like, I don't want to try it. So I'll cook for me and Brooks, and Brooks is like, Mommy, this is so good. And I'm like, why can you not be like our 3-year-old? He eats way more than you do.
Yeah.
But ever since Chase and I, in the beginning, it didn't bother me as much. But now that I cook, I'm I try to tailor things to him because he needs to eat too. I can't just starve him.
So until you eat this food.
I know. So he doesn't really eat vegetables. He'll eat a Caesar salad, and he started eating steak. But he's very bland, American cheese on some white bread. And, I'm like, let's go to the farmer's market and get some fresh vegetables and make a nice meal. And he's like, I'm going to go to Bojangles. I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
So he's just picky. It's just is what it is. But he's gotten better. He'll try things. Like yesterday, he tried some key lime pie because I just raved about it. And
yeah, where were you guys at last night? I saw you were on a date night.
We went to South Park Mall to get some things. His sister's getting married, so he needed a jacket, and Cooper needed some stuff. So we, had a little date, and it was so much fun. Then we went to dinner and we never get to sit at the bar and eat, get appetizers and stuff because, we always had a soccer team with us.
Yeah, exactly.
So we ran over to Steak 48 across the street and sat at the bar and ate and just people watched. My favorite thing to do, just sitting there and just this couple's happy, but this couple's not. And we just it was just so much fun. We had a really good time.
I love
you need that. You have to have that.
Yes.
And we haven't done that in months.
Oh, so good. Yeah, that was something I was going to ask you. Do you guys try to get a date night in? And
when we can.
Yeah.
He's so busy. We didn't think his schedule would be this busy this year. We have to look at his calendar and be like, okay, we're open this day, we're not open. So it's hard. I mean, he's so busy. And I don't think people realize they think that they just show up on Sundays or on the weekend and race. No. They are
much more than that.
Chase is busy. There's probably a day in the week where we get to sit down and talk, maybe half the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're putting the kids to bed and we're conked out on the couch snoring. So we really don't get a lot of quality time together. And that's one of my love languages is quality time.
Oh, I love the five love languages. So mine's quality time as well. What is Chase's?
It's acts of service.
Hmm.
Or call
Like,
it, of
does
course, all
he,
men are the touch,
right.
the whatever.
But so when you say acts of service, is that the way that he gives love or receives love or both? Like,
I think receives. So he likes to
love.
be complimented on things and told he's doing a good job, and because he can be hard on himself and he needs
Yeah.
somebody to lift him up, and I'm there to,
Wait,
scoop him up.
that might be words of affirmation.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right. I
I
can't.
mean, not to correct you. You
No,
don't know
you're
your
right.
husband.
I have no idea.
No, words of affirmation. I mean, here's the thing. The five love languages, words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, physical touch, and what's the one we are? Quality time.
Only time. I'm telling you, my brain is like,
No, I know. I honestly can't believe I just rattled off all five of them. But anyway, we all need all of them. We all love
yeah,
all
we
of them.
do.
We
Yeah,
don't need all of them, but I think we all we all favor one.
more than
And
others.
that's kind of the whole thing of like, what is your love language? And then I think you have kind
Right.
of a strong second and it sort of teeters out. But yeah, mine would definitely be quality time. But words of affirmation has become very important to me as well. Like, you know, I want to hear that how you love me type of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, for sure. Agree. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're all a little bit of, a little bit of everyone, but there's
right.
one more than others.
Yeah. That's cool that you guys know that and kind of like care about that, you know?
We just did it like a little paper that I think a preacher gave us to, fill out and be like, hey, see what you are. So if we wouldn't have done that, then I would have no idea.
No, I think that's so cool. That's something that
Yeah.
we had learned. We read that book a few years back, and it's interesting. So how do you two, you were talking about like a date night being hard, but to get in there because you guys have such busy lives with racing, with three kids, how do you guys try to connect? Do you just at the end of the day watch a show together? Do you try to like what is it that helps you to reconnect through the week?
Just sitting and catching up, like on the front porch, or once we get the babies to bed, they go to bed at like 8. So that gives us a little bit of time. And Brooks will go to bed around 9. So once we get him in bed, we'll try to sit and talk and catch up. And honestly, like, he's so busy throughout the day, he has to sit and catch up on his phone, like emails and stuff. So we might, and we're very comfortable with silence. Some people
Yeah.
are like, are you mad at me if you're just being quiet? But like, we're comfortable just sitting there, just being beside each other isn't good. But we'll talk every now and then. Or a lot of times we go on walks, like after we eat. We have a really long driveway, so we'll take the little wagon, throw all the kids in it, and just and walk to the mailbox and back. And sometimes it's chaotic, and sometimes it's pretty chill.
Mhm.
Because three-year-olds throw tantrums every now and then, so we try to do that. And he gets home at like 6 o'clock, so we'll try to sit and eat dinner together too. But I will say mornings around in this house are so chaotic, and like once bath time starts and bedtime gets rolling, ooh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So we get worn out.
I hear
Um,
you.
but yeah, we try to connect walking and being very like into what each other's talking about.
Yeah, being present.
Yeah, being present. And it sounds crazy, but we have a really big shower, and we will just get in the shower together, just stand there and talk.
Yes.
Brooks will get in there with us.
That is that is already the answer to my next question of what is something that people wouldn't know about you guys? Well, sounds like you get in the shower together and take a good long shower and have your
We
conversation.
do. We just stand there and just talk because you can't have your phone, and we'll put a show on for Brooks and let him sit. Sometimes he'll get in there with us, and sometimes we'll all 5 of us will get in there. We'll put the baby's baths on the floor, and Brooks will be standing there and have this little shower, and we're all in there at the same time. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
honestly, we just stand there and talk.
Love a good family shower.
Yeah, so that's
cleaning our day too.
Yeah, so that's something you will. Chase will be like, "Why did you tell them that?" But yeah, I guess that's something behind the scenes that nobody knows about us.
That's cute. I love it.
Quality
Okay,
time.
well, to wrap up, I'll do some rapid fire random questions at you.
Okay.
Okay, what is your nighttime routine? Do you have like a skincare regimen? And does Chase have any sort of weird nighttime, like does he have a mouth guard or a nose strip or has to sleep with a certain pillow? Do you have sound, like what's your whole nighttime routine and is anything about it kind of weird?
Well, I have a long routine. Chase is kind of like brushes his teeth and hops in bed, and he's out in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And me, it takes me forever to wind down from the chaos of getting everybody ready for bed. So we'll take our shower together. And then my friend has a med spa, so she like will be like, wash your face with this. It's called Magnolia Med Spa. There's one, and she's got a few locations: Indian Trail, Mint Hill. It's great. So I do like face wash and exfoliate, and got the good stuff from her. So do that. Sometimes I'll wear that red light mask. And, I'll have all this stuff hooked up to me, and Chase looks at me and he's like, I'm so lucky because I have, I look like a robot.
It's my robot face.
Yeah, so he's just so lucky. I mean, sometimes I'll put like this mouth tape on so you don't sleep with your mouth wide open. I don't know. I see these things on Instagram when I'm scrolling, and it'll just get you. You're like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. And,
got the mouth tape.
Yeah, the mouth tape, the retainers.
Sometimes and wake up like.
I know. It's just like, I mean, whatever. But that's kind of our nighttime routine.
So what's your Starbucks order or your coffee order?
Oh, I am so bland. I don't like sweet drinks. So it's just the iced coffee with creamer. Plain creamer. I know. It's very...
That is very colorful of you.
It's so complicated. I know. So complicated.
Oh, no, I love it. Okay, do you have any race day rituals or superstitions, and what's your favorite racetrack?
I'm very partial to Darlington because of everything there. Love it. But I think Bristol is my favorite. I just love the vibes. And there was I do have superstition. So Chase will tell me if he's like in the lead and there's like 3 to go, don't move. Don't put your shoes on. Don't get ready for victory lane.
I totally feel that.
Yeah. And I did that somewhere. Charlotte a long time ago. It was like when him and Larson were battling for the lead, and I'm like, Jamie, his mom, I was like, we got to get in the car. We got to go so we can be in victory lane. Because we were at my house in Harrisburg, which was like 10 minutes from the track. So I was like, let's get in the car and let's go. And she's like, okay. And then they wreck on the way. And I'm like, oh, this is all my fault. And, I don't remember who won. I did. I messed it all up. It's my fault.
I did the same thing. Like the time that Ty was leading Indy, everybody was like telling me, and I was like, I wouldn't even look at anyone, and I didn't even move. And there's a video of it, and I'm just sitting so still. And he won. I'm like, yes, I did.
Yes, I know. I know.
Or whatever.
So, yeah. So after Charlotte, I don't move. I don't do anything. I just sit there and act like, I'm dead to the world.
Yep, exactly.
Until he passes that finish line.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. And I am the exact same way. Like anytime anything's going good, I'm like,
I know. It's like, don't breathe.
I wish I was like doing the dishes during that time because then they would be like, done.
Yeah.
Getting clean.
Something done.
Well, that's so funny. I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Marissa, for coming on. This was so fun. It was so fun to hear a little bit of a snippet into your guys' life and all of your stories about your babies and everything. You've always been someone that's just so fun to talk to at the track. And when we get the chance to like catch up, we
could just talk for hours and hours.
Yes, I can see. And you were talking about being like a dental hygienist. Is that what it was that you did?
An assistant. I never got to the hygienist part.
But you literally have the most gorgeous smile that like you can see from a mile away. So that practice you would have.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. And
this was so much fun. It was good catching up.
Well,
It's like we were chatting over coffee.
I know, over an iced coffee with creamer.
Yeah, just nothing to it.
And then I'll have like, my outrageous drink, whatever.
Oh my, yeah, what's your order?
Okay, I've talked about this a couple times and I'm still super into it. I am like totally digging. I mean, I have to have a cup of coffee in the morning, just a cup of coffee with creamer.
Yeah.
But my fancy fun drink right now is a iced matcha latte.
Love matcha.
Yes, with strawberry cold foam on top.
Oh, okay. Now I'm going to have to try that because that sounds pretty good.
It's my jam right now. I get that at Starbucks. It's very good.
And it's healthy. I mean, it's green. It's got to be good for you.
It's green. Anything that's green.
Anything green is good for you.
Gotta have the origin of a leaf in there.
Something. Yeah, exactly.
Like a vegetable, okay?
Right.
I'm drinking my salad.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And
so nice to see you.
Weekend.
Yeah, you too.
We will talk soon.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. I'm so grateful you spent this time with us. It means the world that you're here. And if you loved this conversation, make sure you check out the show notes for all the links and any resources we mentioned. I would love it if you followed me over on Instagram and YouTube. This is where I like to share things about my life, little tidbits about our family. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode, the best way to say thank you is by sharing with a friend, leaving a review, and rating the show. It helps this conversation reach more people who believe in the good. See you next week.